Hello students, today we are going to start the third part of the chapter, the tsunami. But before we move on to the third part, let us have a short recap of part 1 and part 2. In part 1, we have seen the story of so many people who have been affected in the tsunami in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And the first story we have seen about Ignatius, who was the manager of cooperative society in Kachar, and when his wife felt the sudden tremors, she woke him up, but it was the tsunami. And when they saw outside, the sea is rising very high. So in a confusion, when they ran outside, they saw that Ignatius went on one side, and the family members, that is his father-in-law, brother-in-law, who was having his two children, and his wife has been washed away in the water, and on the other side Ignatius with the other three children came on one side, has been saved. This was the story of Ignatius on the time of tsunami, which was on 26th December 2004. Next we have seen the story of Sanjeev. Sanjeev, who was a policeman and serving in Kachal Island, and here he somehow managed his family members and saved. But to save his cook's wife, that is John's wife, he went into the water. When he was saving, both of them have been washed away in the water. He was very brave man, and he went as a humanity, but he lost his life in the tsunami. This was the story of Sanjeev. Next we have seen the story of Meghna, who has been swept away by her parents and along 77 other people. And we can see that Meghna has been floating on the door for 2 days on the wave, and we can see that the relief helicopter which was making a round, and she saw that relief helicopter 11 times, but the relief helicopter have not seen the Meghna, and she has been came to the shore by a wave and was found walking on the seashore in a daze, in a confusion, in a tired, because 2 days she was floating on the water. And next we have seen the story of Almas Javed. And Almas Javed, who was 10 years old and was a student in Caramel Convent in Port Blair, and her father was working in a petrol pump, and they have been went for celebrating Christmas in Rahila, his mother name. You can say Alma's mother name was Rahila, and they have been went in the house of their mother's, that is grandmother home of Almas, to celebrate the Christmas, and the family had gone there to celebrate Christmas. When the trimmer has been came in the early morning, when the whole family was sleeping, and that time his father has been insisting all the family members to come outside and to be saved, but they all have been washed away by the water. Everyone has been in a rush that they have been climbing on the coconut tree, and they were clinging, and afterwards it has been also fallen down and washed away. And but Almas in that incident also somewhat have been taken the log, that is the tree, wooden tree that tree log will be there, no, in that she was floating, and she has been fainted. That means tired, she has been fainted over that, and when she woke up, she saw that she was in a hospital, and that time she was not able to talk about that incident to anyone, because she was really shocked about that, and she was feeling very much sad about that incident. This was the story of Almas we have seen in part 1, and these are all the story we have seen in part 1 which has happened in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Part 2. In part 2, we have seen the story of Tilly Smith. And Tilly Smith was a British schoolgirl who has saved so many people over there in Thailand. So in part 2 we have seen about the story in Thailand, and Thailand where Tilly has been went to celebrate Christmas, where she has been saved so many people. But this might be made her so much famous over there. But her parents were not allowing to be like that. Her parents has been thinking about his life to be in a smooth way, and if such thing will happen, she might be losing the concentration on his studies, like that they might have taught. So her family, that is her family members, herself, father and mother, and her little sister. So Tilly, as she was only, we can say that 10-year-old, and her sister was 7 years old, and they have been celebrating Christmas in Thailand in Phuket Beach, where he saw see something behaving in a strange way. And that strange way of sea behaving she has been saw in the video which has been shown to her 2 weeks before, when she learned in the geography video somewhat about the tsunami which has been hit in Hawaiian Island in 1946. So that video has been shown to her by the geography teacher before 2 weeks only. That came in the mind of Tilly, and she was screaming so loudly and was so much hysterical. That means she was so much loud voice she was making, and was making the family insisting that the tsunami is going to come, something is going to come, like that. And the parents were also very much shocked about what she was behaving. So they took Tilly and her sister to the third floor of the resort building, and the other we can say that the other visitors who came over there by seeing such an incident, they also came with them, and they rescued in the third floor of the resort building. And they saw that the wave has been came 3 times withstand with the building. And the other visitors, after the tsunami hit, they have been thanking her and her geography teacher, who has been made her learn so important thing, which has helped her and saved them in that incident. And that incident she has been telling to her friends in the school after he went to British. This was the story we have seen in about Tilly Smith in Thailand Island in part 2. So let us see. You can see the picture. When do you think this picture was taken? Yes, the picture was taken after the tsunami hit, and the people who has been saved and was sitting looking into such a situation that they have been lost their family. And you can see in that the boy hand, we can see a dog, that is the animal. Did you know that very few animals actually died in the tsunami? So in the part 3 we are going to see about that, how animals have been saved their life in the tsunami before the tsunami hit, because they have the sixth sense of hearing capacity, which has been the earth shaking before the you can say human beings sense it. So what happened actually? What made the people realize that yes, animals also sense the earth shaking before the human being sense that earth shaking? So let us see the text. Before the giant waves slammed into the coast in India and Sri Lanka, wild and domestic animals seemed to know what was about to happen. They fled to safety. According to eyewitness accounts, elephants screamed and ran for higher ground. Dogs refused to go outdoors. Flamingos abandoned their low-lying breeding areas, and zoo animals rushed into their shelters and could not be enticed to come back out. So here we can see when the giant waves, when it was hit on the India and Sri Lanka, wild and domestic animals has been seen what was about to happen. They got the before sense only, and they have been what they were doing at that time. They are seeing about their safety, as human beings also see when anything is going to happen, a danger is going to happen, they will see their own safety. In the same way, animals who has been sensed the tsunami which was going to come after some time before only, and for their safety they have been not coming out, we can say rushed out to a safer place before the human being sensed the tsunami, felt the tsunami is going to come. So according to the eyewitness, that is with the eyewitness we can see the human being has seen such an incident which made the people understand that the animals have the sixth sense to hearing capacity, we can say the earth shaking, and elephants screamed and ran for higher grounds. That means they have been went to higher places where the tsunami will not attack them and will not harm them, like that. And dogs refuse to go outdoors. We can see that dogs, well, maximum they will be roaming on the outside, but on that time when the tsunami is going to come, they were not going out of the house only. And flamingos abandon their low-lying breeding areas. Breeding areas, we can say the flamingos which used to come on the sea and have the fish and this and that, they were not coming only on that time. They are flying very high and high that it will not be affected by the tsunamis. And the zoo animals rushed into their shelters and could not be enticed to come back out. And in the zoo also the animals has been going inside their shelters there. They are not at all we can say that not at all in a mood to, they have been such a sense that they are not going to come back out, like that. By seeing such an incident has been seen by the people when they were on that place. So they were confused that why the animals have been doing such a things. Because tsunami, we can say that the people may not guess that the tsunami is going to come by seeing such a behavior of the animals. Let's see next what happened. Many people believe that animals possess a sixth sense and know when the earth is going to shake. Some experts believe that animals' more acute hearing helps them to hear or feel the earth's vibration. They can sense an approaching disaster long before humans realize what's going on. So as I have told you that many people still believe that animals have sixth sense which make them to understand, which make them to felt before the earth is going to shake. And the experts of the, we can say, who know about the animals and everything, they have been saying about that animals are having the more capacity to having hearing capacity. We can say that they hear so keenly that they know the earth's vibration before it has been sensed by the human beings, and they can realize that what is going on before the human being guess it. So this was happened on that situation which was seen by the people over that time. We cannot be sure whether animals have sixth sense or not, but the fact is that the giant waves that rolled through the Indian Ocean killed more than 150,000 people in a dozen countries, but not many animals have been reported dead. So with the report, with the data which has been collected of how many lives have been lost, from that we can guess that animals may have sixth sense, because the fact says that in Indian Ocean the tsunami has hit in so many giant waves, we can say very high, affected, destroyed the people, that we can say dozen countries, that means 12 countries has been affected with that. And we can say how much people have been died, 1,50,000 people have been affected in the tsunami. But we can say that there are not so many animals which has been reported dead or like that. So with the report we can understand that the animals have sixth sense which has been ran out for their safety place. Along India's Cuddalore coast, where the thousands of people perished, buffaloes, goats and dogs were found unharmed. And Cuddalore coast, where the sea coast, we can say thousands of people have been shocked to see that the buffaloes, goats and dogs and found unharmed. We can see people have been destroyed over there. They perished, we can say they have been destroyed over there. But we can see the animals, buffaloes, goats, dogs were found unharmed, because they have been went to the safer place before the human beings. And the Yala National Park in Sri Lanka is home to variety of animals including elephants, leopards and 130 species of birds. 60 visitors were washed away from the Patanangala beach inside the park, but no animal carcasses were found except for two water buffaloes. So what happened in Yala National Park, which was very famous for animals, variety of animals we can see in that national park in Sri Lanka, where we can see so many important animals. We can see elephants, leopards and 130 species of birds were there in that park. But 60 visitors were washed away from the Patanangala beach. From that beach, which was near to that park, has been washed away. That means 60 people has been washed away inside the park, but no animal carcasses were found. Carcasses, which means dead body of animals, are found on that water. Only except two water buffaloes was there. All the animals has been saved. How it is possible? Yes, because animal have sixth sense, that is the hearing capacity, more than the human beings. That has been saved so many lives of the animals. Through this report we can understand like that. We can guess that the animals have sixth sense. About an hour before the tsunami hit, people at Yala National Park had observed three elephants running away from the Patanangala beach. A Sri Lankan gentleman who lives on the coast near Galle said his two dogs not go for their daily run on the beach. They are usually excited to go on this outing, he said, but on that day they refused to go and most probably saved his life. So here, before the tsunami hit, when the Yala National Park that had observed that in that before the tsunami, when the before the tsunami is going to hit, that time the people saw that the elephants were running from that Patanangala beach to the Yala National Park in such a way to save their life, but the people don't know that why they are running from there like that. When the tsunami hit, they understand that the elephants might be run away from that by hearing the earth shaking before the human beings have been sensed that. So this shows that animals have sixth sense. And here another incident over in Sri Lankan, where a gentleman who lives on the coast near Galle said his near Galle. So in the sea coast near, one gentleman lives over there, and he was about to take his two dogs for daily run. But on that day they were refusing. Why? Because they know that the tsunami is going to come. But according to the gentleman, the gentleman is saying that the two dogs were very much excited to go for outing. That means run on the beach. But on that day they were refused to go. That means the tsunami is going to come has been sensed by the dogs, which has been saved the life of the owner of the dog. Also we can say they refused to go and most probably saved his life. So from this also we can understand that the animals have sixth sense of hearing capacity before the human beings know about that incident, which can save the people, we can say. And at last, from this incident in different places, we conclude that the animals have sixth sense which make people aware of the danger before it comes. So this was the chapter, the tsunami, where we have seen the. So in this chapter, we should realize the importance of doing whatever possible to save human and animal life, to participate in relief work, and to understand the concept of disaster management. One should show acts of courage, care, and compassion in the bitter struggle of survival and rehabilitation. Thank you.